So guys, I'm not going to get too deep into how to shoot your video, but basically there's sort of three options. You either get yourself a good camera, which roughly speaking is going to cost you roughly from like 500 to 1500, okay? Um, if you don't know how to use it, keep in mind there's going to be a time cost there because, you don't know what you're doing yet with it. So just keep that in mind when you buy a camera, a good DSLR camera. Um, if you don't know how to use it, you're setting yourself back, a little bit by needing to read the manual at the very least, and at least do I don't know, a 3-day crash course on how to get a good shot with it. The other thing to think about, which is much easier but much more expensive, generally speaking, it's easier. It depends on the personality that you get, but you can hire a videographer. Um, I've had some good luck with this and some bad luck with it. Videographers, obviously are going to be more expensive than the cost of just buying a camera, but typically they all come in, obviously, with their own gear, their own lighting. They can set it up. You don't mess with any of that. It's their job to set up the camera. It's their job to set up the audio for the mic on you if you have one. It's their job to set up the lighting. They make it look good. You just come in and do your thing. Way more expensive though. And the other thing is, videographers, just like anybody, you have to kind of watch their personality. I mean, just like with producers or anybody. Um, One bad lesson that happened with me is I hired a videographer that was very he was a perfectionist, to say the least, and I ended up burning a lot of money. He wasn't all that good, but he was a very hardcore perfectionist. So it was kind of a very weird contrast where it was like things didn't turn out great, but he was a super big perfectionist. So maybe actually there was a lot of blending there where it was like he was a perfectionist because he wasn't all that confident. So, but he seemed to be, and he had a lot of great, really expensive gear. So maybe he just had money to buy the gear, but not a lot of experience. So there's things that you need to be careful with there. But I mean, nothing's really life or death. It's all a learning experience, and this all costs money. There's really not an easy way around it. Whether you're buying a $700 camera or spending $2,000 roughly or $1,000 on a cheap videographer, or just using your iPhone or your cell phone in general, that's the cheapest option. But what you have to consider there is there's space issues. If you have a ton of photos on your phone, you're probably not going to be able to just record and record and record and edit video limitlessly. There's going to be, only so much that your phone can hold. And then the other issue is just sort of the quality and the capability of the phone and your willingness to sort of understand what you need to do on your phone. And what I mean by that is that sort of goes back to the camera, buying a DSLR, in that just because you record it on your phone and your phone has a camera, which makes it a lot easier, while there's still apps to download so that you can edit the video, there's still understanding and learning how to edit, and there's still understanding and learning just what creates a good shot with a cell phone. So there is still a learning curve there, even though you own basically a mini movie studio in your pocket right now. So those are the three things to consider. Neither one really is right or wrong. I would just kind of think about what you want to do, but I would really caution you. Most people side towards, well, let me save the money and do it myself. That can be good, but it's also a really easy way to blink and wake up 10 years older and sort of be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You learned roughly how to do camera work, and you're also a producer DJ, but in your journey of learning a little bit of everything, you never actually got down to the business of just building your DJ business. So it's just something to consider, and that's why in some of my other videos I talk about outsourcing different production things. Get a co-producer, maybe not, maybe though. Get a mix engineer, get a mastering engineer. Don't do the artwork yourself necessarily. Find an artist to do the artwork. Different things like that. Being a jack of all trades definitely has its disadvantages, so I'd be careful with that. If anything, get a second job, make more money, and outsource things so that you can get back to what really matters, which is what you originally got into and intended to do, touring as a working DJ and producer.